What about religious conversions after near-death experiences and more? Hey guys, welcome back. I have a very big comment and question here that I want to read to you guys, and I want to drop in to answer the question. I'm going to take a quick drink of my coffee because it's what fills my veins. Here we go. Hey, John, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you very much. I don't subscribe to any organized religion, but I have a question. It's been on my mind for a bit. What's your thoughts on spiritual and religious conversions, whether it be in a near-death experience or a spiritual conversion that is in a frame of a particular religion's or example people who are, for example, people who are atheists and having a near-death experience to convert to Christianity, or people that are Christian and have a near-death experience and convert to Islam or vice versa? What are your thoughts on religious conversions, whether it be near-death experiences or spiritual experience per se of all faiths? What's your thoughts on people who claim they speak or hear from God and see visions and dreams from God of particular religions such as Islam, Hinduism, Christianity? And what are your thoughts on the miracles that happen in those religions, or even homophobic sexist experiences? There's a lot in that, a lot of questions. So let's just go back to take everything you just asked, and let's just go back to the word belief. Okay, belief. Now, the example you use is the atheist who becomes a Christian. And if you take the atheist who becomes a Christian, do you think that atheist is never inundated with Christian imagery or thought? When someone sneezes and they hear "God bless you," do you think they're thinking that is not that God is nothing, or do you think that they're hearing that and their experience around them is permeated with Christian imagery, iconography? Thank you very much. And so their world is a cacophony of Christian belief surrounding them, and in that Christian belief, they are an atheist. Now, a lot of atheists' family were Christians, so their subconscious beliefs are filled with Christian belief. And I'm an atheist, I don't believe in that, and yet they go and they have an experience, and they witness Jesus, right? When we have near-death experiences, we are filtering through our own belief system, our own experiences of the time. I recently listened to a near-death experience that the guy was explaining his trip through heaven, and he was describing all these Greek buildings and all this initiation center and all these things, and it was a really detailed experience. And I believe he had a near-death experience because he had a life review, he had all the things. But when you stopped and you listened to the interview, in the beginning he says, "Oh, well, I was getting ready to go to college, and I was, heading to college." And, well, what is college? College is based around a Greek idea. That's why you have all the fraternities, Alpha, Kappa, Beta, whatever it is. You have all those. It's based around Greeks. Most colleges have buildings with columns. So, I mean, his belief system was all about a Greek culture, and so he saw Greek buildings. Next thing he says he got to an indoctrination center or a ceremony or a place where you go and you being brought into into heaven through this initiation room or whatever it was. But that's what happens when you go to college. You go and you have the experience of checking in and doing all that process, and then a lot of people have the near-death experience. They see these images of their entire life and they experience all this. He went into a room and he watched it all on television sets. So what did he believe? That's how he saw the world. He was being shown a heaven alternative through his own belief system. And so it made sense that he would see Greek buildings because of the college thing. It made sense of the various things. So a lot of times people will cross over like an atheist, and they'll have these underlying Christian beliefs that are latent, and they'll see Jesus. And because they're in this mystical place, because I'll tell you, when you have a big experience like that, it's earth shattering, because you're like, it's so much more than the experience we're having here. And so you go there and you have this big mystical experience, and you're like, oh my gosh, I must become a Christian because I saw Jesus, right? I asked my mom why she became so Catholic. She said, well, because I had my first out-of-body experience during a Mass. So she dove hardcore into being a Catholic because as a child she was at a Mass and had an out-of-body experience. Now, did the out-of-body experience happen because of the church or because of her natural belief and her fervent belief in the church? That belief let her come out of body and have all those experiences, right? Now, when I look at what else you're saying here, and the people who convert to Islam and so on and so forth, once again, they probably have some sort of experience in their life that leads them to that experience. There was this story of the young girl in India who was in a Christian family, and a group of marauders came through and killed the family, left her for dead, thinking she was dead. And she had a near-death experience, and Jesus saved her. Well, after that, she was found by a Hindu family who took her into their house, and they hid her, and they raised her as their own. And later on, the people found out that she was still alive. They came back to kill her and left her for dead again. She had another near-death experience. This time, Shiva came and saved her. Well, what was it? She was surrounded by Hindus. She was surrounded by people who have that experience, right? So your belief is the creative element of all out-of-body, near-death, and spiritual experiences. Your belief is being shown to you at all times. So you go down to the bottom of your question here. You talk about people who hear visions and dreams from God. It's coming from their belief. They're getting these images, and sometimes there's good information in there. I just did a video this morning on Edgar Cayce and how, he's an amazing guy, but when you read his 14,000 readings, they're steeped in his very old school Christian language, right? He comes from it from that perspective because that's what he knew. He read the Bible every year of his life. So he had that sort of language in his belief system, in his psyche. So it comes out. And in there, he's talking about Atlantis. He's talking about all these other things. But he's still coming through this very archaic, Christian language. So it really was his belief system was where what was information being filtered through. The other thing is about the miracles is anything is possible through belief. And, Jeshua healed the blind man. And he picked up dirt and he spit on it and he made it to the mud and he rubbed it on his eyes. And the guy was healed. Why did he put the mud on his eyes? Because the blind man needed a tactile experience to put faith in, to put belief in. So he basically said he put magic mud on his eyes so that the guy would be healed. It wasn't about Jeshua's spit or the mud. It was about the man's belief in it. Jeshua was walking through the crowd and the woman touches the hem of his garment and is healed. And he says, it is your faith that healed you. Your belief. And that's all faith means. It's not faith in Jesus. It's belief. Belief. And so, these homophobic or sexist experience, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking with those, but, a lot of that is their own belief systems coming out and their fear of their belief system. If they have homosexual tendencies and their religion says it's a sin, then their own fears will create homophobia, will create, sexist experiences. Paul said that no woman should be allowed into the church, right? So these ideas are all beliefs that are festering in our experience. And even the people who have conversions are converting because of belief, right? And so, but you have no idea what belief system they have. You have no idea what belief system they've been subjected to, and you have no idea what their surrounding people's belief systems are that are permeating into their subconscious. So, It's a matter of their belief in some form, be it conscious or subconscious, is creating an experience, and then they interpret that experience, and then they convert. I hope that answers your question, and you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.